Hey guys, we're back, and in the lobby, it's game number 1 in a brand new best of 5 coming up on Blackpink. We got Solar, we got Ragnarok. I forgot Ragnarok actually recently joined Storm, and I guess he's changing his name to go with that or something?
What? No, I think he said he didn't end up changing it.
Oh, I thought they were, yeah, because I just remember reading a post where they were going to call him HB or something. I'm like, okay, that's...
Yeah, he wanted to, and then everyone was like, no. So he tweeted, my fans want Ragnarok, so I say Ragnarok or something like that.
Ragnarok's a really cool name, and I feel like if you're not an English speaker, still, like, you've got that in, like, Nordic lore, like, it's actually a pretty universally cool name. I wouldn't want to give that up, personally.
Yeah.
Like, at least I can see with Salvation to Forte, that's not, like, really as iconic, so yeah, shrug it off, whatever, but...
Sure, yeah. I agree, for sure.
Well, we're waiting on Solar to come back from the bathroom, by the way, guys. As soon as he's here, we'll be ready to rock and roll into Blackpink. But, yeah, so this semifinals match will have the winner go up against Impact in a best of 7 grand finals. Loser walks away with $50, though. Look at you, the hiccup here. Crazy Thing asks, will you guys be streaming at 6 a.m. tomorrow? What time zone, dude? Because 6 a.m. could be like, are you asking for Europe? Are you asking for Korea? Are you asking for whatever? I will be streaming on the channel at 10 a.m. Pacific. That'll be the BTSL Euro group. So I don't know if that coincides with whatever time zone you're coming from or going to, Frando. And I guess on that little bit of an advertising note, if you guys aren't aware, yes, WCS qualifiers and all these other cool things are going on, but our BTSL group... Oh, I don't have it on Team Liquid, apparently.
Uh-huh.
Wait, I do, but it's listed for Thursday. Okay, I'll have to fix that. But I was gonna say, it's got Mana Optimus, Neeb, and Panda Bear Me. So that'll be a pretty fun group. I think it's safe to assume Neeb kills it. So who's fighting for second?
Pretty safe.
Yeah, hopefully you guys will come join us for that. Wardy will be casting with me on that one. Be some good times. And of course, we'll have the amateur tournament. Actually, on that note, if anyone here tuning in is Diamond League or below, tomorrow we'll be hosting the Diamond and Below tournament. So if you'd like to take part in that, if you want to have a chance for us to pay your way to some coaching with your favorite player, make sure to sign up and play. You can type !noob as in N-O-O-B in the chat, and it should link you to all the information you need to sign up and get playing. But folks, I give a big thank you to Ganthor87 for his 46-month resub. Been around so long, I'm basically Methuselah. Also, woo, Olimoleague. Yeah, dude, you old. But all right, game 1 in the other semifinals. Kicking it off here in the lower left, we have the Teal Zerg Splices Solar. Hope he washed his hands.
In the top right, as the Red Zerg, he is Ragnarok. Why? What?
Oh, because we were waiting on him to come back from the bathroom this whole time.
Oh, okay.
I just assumed he fell in.
Yes, that's always the assumption.
Actually, so to be clear, before I make this statement, because someone's gonna call me gross, like, yes, you should always wash your hands, and hygiene is very important. But for all the gentlemen out there, I can't imagine how messy some guys must be for this to be like a genuine concern for a lot of people. Because I'm like, if you do it right, you're not making any mess, you know?
I mean, but you could say the same thing for anyone, women as well. If you do it right, you're not supposed to be making any mess. Not supposed to be any contact.
Yeah, going to the bathroom is not a contact sport, guys.
So yeah, you know. Actually, so I was watching a bunch of movies on my way back from Paris. I watched, actually, I forget what I watched. I tried watching North by Northwest or North by Northeast, whatever the Alfred Hitchcock movie was. That was boring.
I actually have a topic here, because I think you watched the 100, right?
Yes.
So I got into starting that recently.
Okay.
And I don't know whether you like it or not, so we might not be on the same team for this, but I'm watching it at this point just because it's something to watch. I was really impressed with the first couple episodes, and then it started pissing me off so much, man.
So it's a CW show, and the first couple episodes are well done and very like they hook you. It's like interesting. Then it goes into typical CW bullshit, where it's like a little bit of like just like teenage drama.
The part that I am presently struggling with, and I don't know if anyone else gets annoyed at this, is, and this happens in Legends of Tomorrow, and I feel like every TV show within the last 3 years, is this weird forced bisexuality. Why is this a thing people are pushing so hard?
What? How far along are you in this?
She's like with the... I don't know, spoiler for people who haven't watched it.
Well, okay, so you're pretty far forward then.
Yeah, like I said, I
binge
this shit.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I just disagree that it was forced. Like, I mean, that was actually a really cool moment for a lot of people, is that, she was bisexual, and there's actually a lot of different characters, shall I say, like non-straight characters in the show.
To be clear, though, my problem isn't with the bisexuality aspect of it. It's more the forced relationships that are coming out of this show. But I guess I'll complain more in a moment, because we have a really big attack out of Ragnarok coming. And
I was gonna say,
this is going to get a cancel, if not a kill. It's going to get a kill, probably. There's a couple banelings coming, but there's not that much for Solar overall.
Solar should be able to deal with this because he has a baneling nest. Like, that's a simple explanation here, but he wasn't expecting so many lings. Which is one of the reasons that Ragnarok pushed his baneling nest off so much, was to do this. And he grabs the third. Like, it's exactly what Ragnarok wanted to do, and it was successful.
As long as he doesn't eat one of those banelings too, he's got so much power through these lings. Now, granted, defender's advantage, queens, yada yada yada. He probably can't break Solar and kill him, but killing that third gets him so wildly ahead back on his side of the field, because guess what? He's managing the drone count. He's been droning behind this, and he still has a standing army to defend against the counterattack. Whereas for Solar, he's just got to remake that base, and it sucks. You got to grit your teeth on this one.
Well, that is kind of what has to happen. Solar really can't. I mean, he could try and counter and hope that his baneling hits are just amazing, but it's unlikely that it's going to be that amazing to kill his opponent's third as well. So it is just more like I need to do something so you're not just droning so much more than me.
That Overlord is just so barely out of position to properly see the high ground. Oh, Korean Master Pack caught me off guard there for a second, but the barely doesn't have that high ground vision to really solidify this, so he almost did run into those banelings. A little bit of luck, and Solar's was playing back. Make sure he doesn't take too bad of a hit, though.
Solar's... yeah, he's not really stopping Ragnarok from getting a hit, unfortunately. He might be catching up in the drone count now, but like literally right now. So Ragnarok's getting these huge gaps of time where he's just mining so much more efficiently too, because his third base is up and running.
Yeah, but as we all know, when it comes to economy gains, it's not something realized for quite some time. And I'm now a little worried for Solar, because Ragnarok is getting quite a jump to the Roach game.
He's not just jumping to the Roach game, he's all-inning off the Roach game. He already did what, was kind of an all-in. If two banelings hit his lings around the third, he's dead. It was so dedicated. And now he's doing another one. No lair, no evolution chamber. Solar just tried to get up to a decent amount of drones, and even over-drone in this case, up to 49 now, without really reaping the benefits of it either. It's not like he has a bunch of roaches being made. So this is just looking very, very difficult. Solar finally gets 10 roaches, looks a lot better, but they're not here right now.
And these banelings go off, so it means they won't be washing off any Zerglings. More banelings coming out of Ragnarok with this too, and it's actually at this number where they can start hitting the core of the roaches, and that'll be just fine. But if they wash off these lings, it's even better. Trades 2 for 3 on the right side, but the banelings do catch most of the lings. The roach count for Ragnarok still looking fantastic, but Solar's defender's advantage might start kicking in. He's almost matching this, and if he can hold this attack, well, we'll see if he can follow it up, but right now, he has to hold the attack. With lings and banelings flooding across the map, he's still very much in danger. They walk right past the roaches, because guess what? They're looking for drones.
It's a quick split. He can lose 2 more. They still keep it even. He actually loses a few more than that. He loses 9 in total, but he just also lost his army, so that's his game.
What's really scary to look at there, though, is like Solar actually did at the very end of that game have more roaches, but they're coming in 1 or 2 at a time. You're not really getting the full effect of them. So Ragnarok, like that's a fight where I think if that goes on for 30 more seconds or something, Ragnarok actually ends up being the one to fall back. But Solar dies, and Ragnarok takes game number 1.
Yes. And now that that's over, we're going on to Catalyst. I was trying to talk about a movie I watched on the plane.
Sorry, go on.
About the 100.
I totally interrupted. That's my bad.
So it was about the almost Ebola outbreak that happened in Nigeria a few years ago, I guess.
Wait, so is this a documentary or like
It's
a horror film or what?
Based off a true story movie.
Okay.
Right. So it's actually really well done. It won like a bunch of awards and stuff. But I don't know. I just like, you hear about Ebola, you hear about it happening like mostly in Africa and just it sounds scary, but I don't know much about it. I don't see it with my own eyes. I don't click on the not safe for life images of it, for the love of God. But actually watching a movie about it and how just scary it is, like they really do a good job making it like the gravity of how quickly Ebola can spread in such a small, crowded city. I was like, oh my God. I was like pretty terrified of germs for about 24 hours after that. So basically until I woke up today, I was like, germs are the worst. We're all gonna die. Disease is gonna take us. Zombie apocalypse. It's happening.
You don't watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, right? Also, God damn it. Okay, it's double playing the sounds on this screen only, and I can't figure out why, because I've checked off all the like other options. But yo, Denmark is best. Thank you for reminding us that Denmark is best now for like 700 bits in a row. He's using like every different cheer mode except for our own. It breaks my heart, man. There we go. Boom. Now he nails it with that mace. But yeah, Denmark is the best. Was quite the troll yesterday, and I really enjoyed having you around, man. Thanks. But as he continues to put bits coming in double at a time, I guess I'll comment on the Ebola stuff after. Instead, let's get to Catalyst. More bits, and more bits. Thank you, Denmark is the best one. Establishing the fact that this country, Denmark, may in fact be the best. We've got some more TV shop talk, but guys, before we hop into that, let's get into the game, right? Top left side, he's down 1 at the moment. Not responding with any kind of cheese, no early pools. It is Splice's Solar.
In the bottom right, as the red Zerg, a new pickup on Psystorm. It is Ragnarok.
Yeah, and he's intending to come play in the WCS system, guys. So you'll see him, hopefully, at some of these events like Austin or otherwise, if you're attending. Big thing of Chillwind Jedi as well for the 4-month. Denmark truly is the best. So, oh no, you've found an ally. Great. Thank you for the sub, man. But Zagreb and I were talking a little bit just beforehand, if you're tuning in, about like some a movie she'd watch with Ebola outbreak and stuff, and that stuff like actually does terrify me. Not because of like however the movie painted the picture, but you look at stuff like this whole anti-vaccination movement and all this other stuff, and you realize like this is like legitimately something that could be so terrifyingly real given another like half a decade or two, right?
Yeah.
But I was asking if you always watch It's Always Sunny if you watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because there's this one episode where Frank, Danny DeVito, starts getting so obsessed with like hand sanitizer and cleanliness. It like increases in gravity as the episode goes on, and at the end of the episode they find him basically like a slug covered in like hand sanitizer, naked on the ground.
Oh, God.
You've probably seen the clip or the gif or the reaction image of this at some point, but it's just too perfect for what you've described. It's like, I was so scared of germs for like 24 hours.
Unfortunately, it feels like, with the threat like Ebola, like it doesn't even help that you're like health conscious, because if you have come into contact with someone with Ebola, you're probably screwed. So like, I don't know if I've shaken some guy's hand who has it, or going to a dead body with it and then putting some squirts of hand sanitizer are gonna save you. So you just kind of avoid it, which is like why it's so scary. If someone lies that they weren't in contact, they were nowhere near it, and you're screwed. Your entire city's screwed. Yeah.
Queen should hold this no problem, by the way. It's a question of like whether you can actually stop the natural. And I think with the 2nd and 3rd Queen coming out, this should be a hold. But I like that Ragnarok's not jumping the gun. So a little bit of pepper, the Lynx decide to leave. This isn't anything too crazy. But
no, it isn't.
I'm so very strong on my opinion that flat earthers are stupid, and so are people who don't vaccinate their kids. And you look at stuff like these 3rd world countries, right? And they probably would vaccinate if they could, but they can't. There's too many people, it's too poor, like the region's too scarce and the technology's not there. And I just wish that this wasn't, I don't know, it's such a scary sign of like self-destruction when you think about these outbreaks of things that should be otherwise preventable.
Well, yeah, like measles and polio.
Polio's like the big one.
Yes. Yeah, they should be preventable. That's absolutely correct. But it just is more like that all stuff sucks, and what is the world coming to and all that. But it's like, man, and you think about all the talks about how, like, stronger virus strains are being created because of all the because of our measures to be healthy, the super viruses that come forward. And I'm just like, oh, it's gonna happen one day. What are we gonna die to first? Nuclear war, super viruses, nanobots. Oh god.
Well, according to 100, it'll be nuclear related.
Yeah, which was, highly possible.
Actually, so the real beef I have with the 100, by the way, I know I may talk about forced interactions and character rating, which I don't really enjoy, but it's actually the laziness of production that's bothering me so much about the show the more I watch it. You're like, okay, so these guys are in the space station, and they've done a really great job of establishing that it's kind of nitty-gritty 100 years later, because the clothes are imperfect. There's a lot of holes in, like, their shirts and stuff. But now in season 2, they're on the ground and everybody's got brand new leather jackets. It's like, okay.
Well, that makes sense because they literally make leather on the ground.
Okay, you make that argument, but then there's other points too. Like there's an episode where a guy falls off a cliff because the rope slips, right? And then the exact scene afterwards where they cut to the reactions of the people, like, oh my god, he fell. You can see the rope still tied to the log behind them, and you're like, okay, that's kind of lazy.
Oh, okay, I wouldn't have caught that. No.
But I will say, I should stop watching the show. I really like the character of Bellamy, actually, quite a bit. So far, at least. So
yeah, he's so typical.
He's kept me tied into it.
I mean, he's the Vegeta of the show.
Oh my god, that is actually so perfect for what he is.
Like shows, but that's such a common thing. I feel like there's actually probably a TV trope, whatever word for it, but I refer to it as the Vegeta of the show.
No, I think that's probably better than whatever official phrasing they have out there.
Probably.
Who of these two, Ragnarok and Solar, in their careers, not like obviously in this best of 3 or best of 5. Oops, it is best of 5. Sorry guys, I've had best of 3 displayed in the overlay. Which of these guys would be the Vegeta and Goku, do you think?
I really don't know Ragnarok that much. Solar has sometimes a bit of a snarky streak to him, so.
But it's like generally like a really good guy. Like I feel like Solar would be the Goku.
Okay, well we don't know. Do you know Ragnarok?
No, but this process of elimination, right? Well, I guess with multiple universes, we could have 2 Gokus. It could be Goku Black and.
Oh God.
All right.
Well, luckily this game has been like super boring, straight up to roaches. So we've bought an appropriate amount of time here. Yeah,
we got to taste hostess the conversation off to the side, but this is something where it is starting to change up. Actually, tunneling claws and burrow. This isn't uncommon. In fact, we may even see Solar match this later. But Ragnarok is, if you can get these multi-pronged attacks, you burrow 3 roaches in each mineral line. Like we've seen it before, you can get so far ahead off of a move if your opponent doesn't see this coming. And Solar's going for a Spire that's cool, but I'm more interested in the Overseers he's getting because this will detect the roaches.
That is pretty important. Spire on the way, something that Ragnarok really would love the Scouts, as he is dedicating so much into roaches. This is maybe a more, not a normal game. It's a normal game so far, but there's a possibility there'll be Hydras on the way, but instead it's Tunneling Claws.
Xian Sin 6, by the way, or Sin X says Goku. I see 2 Yamchas here. And you know what? Banelings are basically Yamcha when you think about it.
God.
They're weak, flimsy, and their only real attack is a kamikaze move.
That's a good point.
Actually, I love these memes. I'm not even that big of a Dragon Ball fan in the first place, but I love seeing these memes of like these reaction images of Vegeta looking at garbage cans and stuff, and the caption's like, "Nope, still haven't found Yamcha's power level."
I haven't seen too many of those.
Overseers probably getting some good scouting out of Ragnarok, what Solar's up to, and you does see the Spire on the backside. But mutas aren't always mutas for the sake of mutas. Like, this might actually just be a few, and the investment might not be that great, because Solar is still moving towards +2. He's probably thinking about the Roach game more than anything else, but the mutas provide some maneuverability and some harass tactics, so I kind of like the idea of going like 6 to 8. I mention this all the time when we're casting Bly, because it's more of a Bly thing to do, but yeah, getting a few mutas out for maneuverability, mobility, I like it.
I mean, I think that's what it is usually nowadays. There's just a couple of mutas, not really massing mutas. What was interesting about it, though, is that Ragnarok had also started a Spire, and then he scouted the Spire and was like, well, I'm late to it, so there's really no point in trying. So he added a Hydraliscend faster, and in a way that scout really worked out for him, even better than just in general scouting for it, because he could have made an even bigger mistake going for his own Spire.
Well, he also would have made a huge mistake by leaving all his overlords out and exposed. I mean, one of the things these mutas are going to do, if they can't kill the drones, is at least clean up all the overlords on the map. By withdrawing, there's not that many to actually pick off and lose. So Ragnarok will save some money in this regard, but that Overseer dying actually supply blocks him. That's super awkward.
That is a little... But he already had a ton of Hydras on the way, so he can respond to this. He's going to save his hatchery, same as Solar saves his.
The continued comparisons in chat, by the way, Chaosu would be blank, Yamcha would be X, you know, Tien would be Y, but it just makes me think of those old custom games from like Brood War, where it'd be like DBZ madness, right? Like one player gets Hydras and they're all called Goku, one player gets Zerglings, they're all called like Vegeta.
I never played that. I did play a bunch of Warcraft 3 customs where it was arenas, so
yeah, same idea.
Crowd. I also played Dragon Ball Z Tower Defense, which was fun.
I've actually watched a fair amount of time of the Dragon Ball Z Fighters or whatever. That game looks so fun.
Yeah, that looks really well done.
I'm not even like into fighting games, and I think that game looks like it's fun.
Yeah, I was really excited for it, but I didn't really shell out $60 immediately, so I'm still holding off on the purchase. But we have a fight almost incoming. Both upgrades, both of them have +1 carapace finishing almost the exact same time, so like a little bit faster.
While there's even roaches, there's a lot more Hydras for Ragnarok. This fight is not even close, despite the supply looking similar. Remember, 6 mutas are being wasted, soaking up a lot of supply somewhere else on the map right now.
Solar is desperately trying to reinforce the 25 roaches, and he is cracking through the roach defense of Ragnarok's Hydras. Like, once the roaches die here, the Hydras fall pretty easily after, but you gotta have an armor left over to do that. And Solar is losing it bit by bit as it comes out from the third base. Drone's even being pulled very awkwardly here.
Actually, that's a funny thing here. If Ragnarok even just trades even with the army to fall back off of this, he killed 12 drones and made Solar pull off of mining for a whole base while he continues to mine on 4. No real counterattack threat, just slow Zerglings. Like, this is so good for Ragnarok, because even if the army doesn't win the game here and now, economically, he comes out ahead.
Yeah, and his army is still winning. You know, the Remax was pretty even until, you know, of course, Solar started losing more and more and more. So Ragnarok even saving some Hydras, which usually isn't a given. They do have their speed, which kind of helps in that regard, but they usually die.
So what's funny about this hold, by the way, is leads to the lurkers for both players, and this is where the mutas might start being really effective. Without many Hydras left, he could just actually kill the lurkers with the mutas.
It would take a while. They can't just come in and snipe the lurker, but they can help.
I mean, the lurker has like, what, 200 health as well? I mean, they're pretty beefy, but he loses the mutas to like the 2 Hydras, so forget what I just said.
Yeah, well, you know, Ragnarok's not really doing a great job against the lurkers. There we go. He was actually running into them multiple times. But
Solar takes a bad angle. That lurker to the top side just actually chained through all the roaches, and that's going to be game. Ragnarok with a 2-0 lead.
This is such a weird time for Ragnarok to really just start showing his strength, because I remember casting him in a Ballistics Brawl weeks ago at this point, because I've been in Paris, and there's like a ton of fans of him, and I was like, you know, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I didn't realize they had a ton of fans. You know, his stream's quite small, and you know, he doesn't do very much, but no, then he showed like really good performance, and I was like, okay, I can see why. And now as soon as he joins Psystorm, he's about to beat Solar, you know, 3-1 potentially. That'd be crazy.
That would be cool to see. We're going to dip to commercial break really quick, guys, so we hop into game number 3 here. This is match point, but to address Fricey's comment, No Rush 20 was my Brood War. Brother, No Rush 20 money maps. You max out and nobody can build units. That was my Brood War too. That and Sunken Defense. But, just No Rush 20. We'll see you guys here in a couple minutes. All right, folks, welcome back to this best of 5 semifinals. The winner of this goes on to fight against Impact in a best of 7. As a quick reminder to finish the day, but a lot of people are like, I can't believe Solar's losing this, and to be honest, neither can I. But this guy here in the bottom right is kicking some ass. He's taking some names, rocking that Psystorm Gaming Blue. We've got Ragnarok.
In the top left, as the teal Zerg, he is Splice's Solar.
Colors are gonna piss some people off. We don't have control over this, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did notes in the very first game, but they're forgotten.
I wonder if that's a mod development that could be added into WCS Schemeheart. Like you could actually pick the colors for the observers. Because I know you could do that by hitting like Control F or whatever with the default UI, but you can't like do that with the custom ones, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening. I checked my settings, and I know you've checked your Zoom settings, but you do go louder and quieter. I think something just stopped working in my computer.
I know that last time we talked, you had auto adjust on, right?
On mine, that's why I was going up and down on the French computer.
Right, but I'm wondering if there is some version of that for receiving.
No,
maybe.
I already checked.
Oh, then I got no clue. Rip.
Right, that's why I brought up, like, you know, I checked, and I know you checked. That's why I said that.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's not happening to the stream. I mean, you've at least had a consistent volume, which is good over here,
yeah.
So earballs to the stream seem to be okay so far. I was going to remark on this, though, and Zombie and I were talking about during the break. I didn't even realize, so just to spread the knowledge, guys, there's actually this really sick, I guess, Korean event going on right now with a lot of good players, Korea versus the world. And
yes.
Didn't even know it was happening because I look at our numbers and I'm like, yo, 2K for an Olimoleague about 2 hours in. This is pretty normal. This is actually pretty nice, right? Shout out to everybody tuning in, waking up for the Olimoleague. Totally unaware that there's like a 7,000 viewers stream on like a Korean broadcast going on right now.
Yeah.
So,
well, most people aren't aware. It really is, like, I think it's StarCraft Korea, so of course it's gonna, when it goes live, it's a pretty big deal. But it's like not even on the Team Liquid sidebar. They really didn't do any promotion for it in the foreign, languages. So I wonder what the South Korean statistics look like for people watching the Olimoleague.
Actually, I was gonna see stats here. I mean, most people be on Crank's stream, right? And I guess we are seeing Crank suffer numbers a little bit because normally Crank actually has just as many, if not more, viewers than us at times. So
yeah, it's probably worse for him.
Feeling the burn a little bit there. Do love Crank though. I remember like 2 years back before he started even doing casting and stuff. Like he would try and join us in English, and he remarked how difficult it was. He didn't want to do it, but the dude's powered through it. He's grown his channel quite a lot. I'm actually really impressed to see how well he does now sometimes.
Yeah, it's super good. Even his talk show gets a lot of viewers.
Yeah, Crank's always had good personality, so he's definitely the guy to make that stuff happen. But all right, Solar and Ragnarok. It's so weird that these two are going at this the way they are, and I guess for lack of better phrasing, Solar comes out looking so bad. Solar's got such good TVZ and such good PVZ that I kind of forget that maybe his ZvZ isn't the best in the world. And I'm not saying he's playing poorly, but Ragnarok is playing very well around Solar. In fact, even catching these Banelings here, this is super nice. He doesn't know the timings, he's cautious. I love it.
His all-ins are working out very well, and even his macro games, he's dodging and weaving amongst the lane-Baneling wars, so it's not like Solar's showing dominance there. And Ragnarok is just proving that, it was a good pickup for Psystorm. He hasn't proven it yet, but if he were to get to the finals and have an equally good ZvZ against Impact, because it's guaranteed ZvZ, then that would be definitely a good point on his scorecard.
If he can prove that he can play ZvZ well, we'll know he'll excel at the European side of the brackets.
Yeah.
Actually, on that note too, though, one of the things I have loved about True, like, okay, True is a great player. Don't let me make it sound like I'm not talking well about that, but I don't really care for True's playstyle so much as personality. He really does bring some happy, smiley elements to whenever he's on interviews or playing games. So I've really enjoyed him being part of the WCS circuit for that reason. I hope Ragnarok can get that same opportunity to show off a personality or something, you know?
Yeah, I hope so.
It's so weird watching the Lings, guys. I know, I see the color remarks in chat. We can't do much about it, but if you're paying real hard attention, it's clear who's fighting who.
Right. I mean, it is a little bit difficult maybe when the Lings are attacking a Baneling like one-on-one, but yeah, it's it's going into the Roach stage. It might be a little bit easier to realize what's going on. Ragnarok has successfully deflected whatever Solar was planning on doing, which wasn't much, just, hoping to make him not drone as much. And even tried to do a little bit of his own counter. Fortunately, scouted by Solar, who also scouts the main base again.
Takes a couple hits on the lair. I guess, yeah, Ragnarok knows timing a little bit off here. And if Did he see the wiggling and jiggling? I guess we can't really check through vision. It's not as easy to tell. He didn't see the Evo chamber, so he doesn't know about any sort of timing with upgrades. But he did see the Roach Warren. If he saw the Roach Warren, then he probably saw wiggling. So he's got a pretty good idea that Roach speed's coming up soon. So rather than play too greedy, both players starting to reduce that drone count and put a lot more emphasis into these roaches.
Mm-hmm. Roach game it is, which last game didn't get heated until we saw the Hydras even play a part. You know, Solar did not have a good time with his Spire, and I guess you could even just look at that simple tech structure as being his biggest mistake, maybe, because it just didn't do very much, and it really didn't do very much. Didn't get to the 4th base, didn't get any drones, couldn't kill a Lurker. So if he goes into straight up Roaches, maybe Tunneling Claws this time, maybe directly into Hydras, it should be better for him. It's actually Ragnarok who's going right into those Hydras. Solar might just be looking to max out on Roaches.
Bailey Drop's clever, but whether it's effective or not, we'll have to wait and see. I had a pretty interesting conversation, and this is one of those I really miss zombie rub moments with Maynard yesterday, because he didn't realize there was a wiggly little Overlord penis on the Dropper Overlords.
Oh, God.
And of course I point this out in chat's like, wait, Rifkin, how do you notice things like this? But you can't not. It's like a happy dog tail wagging.
Yes, that's what it's like.
Get about 8 drones. That's actually not bad when you're going for mirror versus mirror with units. Like, again, like you're not going to see this pay off right now, but this is going to hurt Ragnarok in the long run. So that's where Solar gets a few more roaches out, and that might be where he overpowers an attack. Maybe. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? Ragnarok, on the other hand, though, is not sticking on roaches for too long. Hydra Den's done. Groove Spines are on the way, and he should have a little bit of extra power in the back of his army.
Mm-hmm. A little bit. Sometimes you get the mass roach versus roach hydra. It's surprising that the mass roach overpowers, but you know that usually comes down to the fact they also max out a little bit quicker, which isn't necessarily happening. Almost, but not quite. Only down 4 army supply. Ragnarok is defending around his gold. Equal upgrades here. No hydras quite yet.
So, just following a comment you made in chat now about not caring about the foreign audience for the SC220 event. That might sound a little harsh, guys, but you have to understand they didn't care about the Korean audience for the English StarCraft 220 event. So it's kind of like their own thing. They might not have the Artosis and Control show with a bunch of casual matches of old school players, but they do get their own thing.
Yeah. I think that's understandable. I obviously think that, you know, international audience would want to watch these games anyways because we got like some foreigner action going on. Although currently TY is like utterly dominating a laser, but whatever.
He just lost some more drones by the start. We have just barely missed that, but
yeah. It's a little more important that he defends the gold base anyways. The 8 drones is good, so there's gonna be some good harassment. Maybe tears down Ragnarok's gas bank a little bit, but no, it probably is just because he went to Hydras. So
the Hydras are so much better.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
This fight isn't even going to be close if he stays on it, and Solar's not willing to back down, which means he's just going to bleed out. Corrosive Bowels catch a couple of Ragnarok's units, and that's nice, but you really got to land like 5 Corrosive Bowels to even be close to equalizing the damage the Hydras bring. I mean, they've got the range so they can shoot over everything. It's a couple of extra shots going to the army. A lot of Solar's own roaches, as we can see, are busy walking and not fighting because they can't reach the fight. So Ragnarok just has so much more damage potential on the output. If he wins this fight, if he concaves and breaks Solar here, that's going to be game, and that'll be the series.
Well, he's not breaking them. He's actually getting his very vulnerable units. Well, he's not breaking them yet. It's going to be close. All of his vulnerable units are left alone here without the roach support. So this is why it gets so damn close. And I was also going to comment that Ragnarok was taking some unnecessary corrosive bile shots. You know, if you're pushing into him and you value the shot more than you value taking damage, fine, whatever. But there is some times where the Ravager's could be easily moved. Well, seems to be going in Ragnarok's favor regardless.
One of the really key things about that, though, is Ragnarok did lose a bunch of drones going into the fight. So Solar, had this game passively gone on longer, would have definitely been looking better. But punishing him now, the game equalizes, and then even to a degree goes in his favor. Solar had an upgrade lead too, but that's gone. Ragnarok catches up. The Hydra's still adding some damage. The Roach count holding strong. And Solar, he's actually almost out of larva, much less money. Both are a problem for the defense. Drones getting pulled into the fight too. Desperate times call for desperate measures, but Zombie, I think we're about to witness the 3-0.
Wow. GG, Ragnarok showing some dominance in ZvZ. Now goes on to face another Zerg.
Yeah, this is actually going to be great because Impact, we haven't gotten a taste for ZvZ. There's actually, just generally speaking, less ZvZ matchups in Korea in general. But I've got no clue how Impact will play this out. But if he's playing as good as he has been, and Ragnarok and 3-0 Solar, we might just be in for a really great finals. Regardless, though, it is going to be a best of 7. So, folks, we got a couple of games ahead of us. I hope you're ready. We're going to take a quick break while we set up for this. But when we're back, Grand Final, ZvZ, Impact versus Ragnarok. Thanks for watching.